Sooner Scoop HD.
I wanted to ask you, first of all, I want to ask you about backup quarterback. Just can you talk a little bit about the quarterback situation and then depth chart overall? When do you start making those depth chart announcements and get players prepared for Monday?
Monday will be depth chart, and working through. Got another practice game tomorrow. So Davis and Booty and Evers are all doing a great job battling it out, and had some great moments in camp and some not so great moments, but we're definitely in a better position than where we were when we finished spring ball. So excited about that group of guys, what they've brought to the table from a leadership and ability to execute and manage the offense the right way. So here in the next couple of days, that'll all work itself out.
You talked about having a blueprint for a championship team. How much of just teaching a team how to go through a game week is part of that?
It's really everything, Kerry. It really is. You can't. This game will punish you, expose you for what you do out here in the practice field, for how you either do or don't sleep, how you eat, how you train, how you recover, how you handle yourself out in the community. It's all preparing. It's a year-round process, and it's not just for this week. It's for your building, your season every day, and trying to develop, great habits that are going to sustain you under stress and duress. We say it all the time, the championship strain. It's the work, it's the mindset, it's the attitude, it's the response, it's the effort, it's the precision, it's the execution. All of those things matter. For some of the young guys that maybe don't have the role that they would like right now, that, to me, then, okay, you're not the player that you want to be, apparently, so how do you become the player that you want to be? And what do you do? Again, you have to have awareness and action, and then you got to hold yourself accountable. But you have to have great awareness first for you to, create more opportunity for yourself. But just in getting ready for the game, we don't play to opponent. You play and prepare and practice and work and think and drink and sleep to a standard. And so what that looks like for our guys, you got to be inside out. You got to literally be focused on one day at a time. You can't worry about September 3rd. We got 9 days to play, and we got to have a great, Thursday. This is until next week. We'll get a day or two in pads next week. This is our last heavy day of the week, and we got to take advantage of it. And good on good, we got to strain and we got to work. We got to get each other better. And again, this game, like I said, it'll punish you for trying to cheat the game, cut corners, not be detailed and precise in everything that you do. And again, the practice field needs to become a competitive advantage for the Oklahoma Sooners. How we approach it, how we attack it, and again, how we respond to heat, to soreness, to the mundane. We got to embrace it. And so that's how we're going to get ready for next week. But we've been working on that for the last several months, and just trying to again help our guys mature and grow up and understand that champions behave like champions before they ever become champions, and it becomes your habits matter, and your how you think matters, how you respond matters.
Coach Justin Harrington, how's he coming along, and is there a position that he's in a battle for to start? Apparently you're looking at him at a couple of places.
Yeah, so Justin's had a really good camp, and finished up the spring well, and then put a lot of work in this summer. We're looking at him both at our cheetah position and a free safety, both, and he's done a great job, and he is competing to be a starter, and we don't know that yet, but I do feel like we're going to have really good competitive depth at several positions where we feel like we have co-starters, and I love that, because to me that brings out the best in everyone. That's going to create good practice habits. Everything counts, from how you show up to the meetings to how you show up to practice, how you respond in practice, again, how you train and recover. Once we get into game day mode, who shows up to breakfast on time, to the meetings on time, all of it really does matter. And so I love that some guys feel some heat, and it should bring out the best in everyone. But Justin's a guy that has a lot of position flexibility, can do several things for us, and so excited about him. He's long, he's athletic, he's physical, he cares, which is probably my favorite quality. He cares a lot.
Sorry, how much do you want to project some of the lessons of organization and structure and procedure that you learned from Bob or that you learned from Dabo over the years?
Yeah, you have.
In terms of game day operation.
Yeah, you have to. And as I had a meeting with our athletic director, we meet once a week, and I told him today, you kind of go through it for that first time. At the end of the day, you got a script, and you got a schedule, and you try to be detailed and organized, but you got to go through it too. Until you do, it's never the same. But we'll do that like we've done everything else. We'll try to get our guys to have a level of comfort and what to expect around the corner, and so we'll do that tomorrow. Everything from team hotel to champion walk to game day simulation. So we'll work on that and what we're doing at halftime and how we sing the alma mater. All those things will be rehearsed before we get there next week. But there'll be plenty of things that happen, and you're like, man, I wish I would have thought of that. Yeah. And you just learn and you grow. That's you're no different than a player. I'm a freshman, right? And I got to grow up quick. So
along those lines, what have you learned just even these last couple weeks about what you've got to take responsibility for in this role versus where you've been in the past?
I don't know of any. Probably just to be how we practice, make sure that again we don't crescendo too soon. We don't peak at the wrong time. That we understand you got to strain them, you got to get in shape, you got to build endurance and develop a toughness and attitude, but you also got to get your guys to a point where they're fresh and healthy, and so we can play fast and be explosive. But so managing that, what you feel, instincts, what your eyes tell you, is a big part of that. So you just have to have overall more awareness. I've always had that positionally and certainly on defense. But I've been around a lot of wise coaches that they have a great pulse on that too. And I have a great staff too. We talk about those things daily, and we do all the GPS things to monitor our guys and see what the player load is and what the exertion looks like to help guide us to some degree as well.
Is it tough to balance that at this time of camp, especially as you make that transition from preseason camp to game prep?
Well, we have an exact schedule, so
yeah.
In that way, no. But just getting a good feel, even though it's on your script, having the willingness to make a hard left-hand turn. Okay, we were going to be in pads today. Let's take the pads off. And even if it's just a placebo effect, if it works, it works. So to try to help your guys, it's been a good, tough camp and a very productive camp. But you want your guys feeling great, confident and again fresh mentally and physically as we go into the season. And I couldn't be more excited about where the team is, their attitude, their toughness, the improvement that we've seen them make, the confidence that they have. Very unified football team. They like to work. They love the investment part of it, and getting into opponent preparation creates a newness that is exciting, and it's challenging too. You get used to certain motions and formations and runs and passes, and now you got to start over, and that's what makes preparing for a season so incredibly difficult. And you can say, oh, we're just going to do what we do, and they got to adjust to us. That's one way to look at it. Or you got to help your players too, and you can't just make it easy on your opponents. They know what you're going to do all the time. So our players got to take a huge role in the preparation and the investment so that they get to a comfort level so they can play fast and explosive and confident each and every week.
How unique is this, a season opener, to have a team that's going to play against a team that's already going to have a game under their belt? Do you scout UTEP hard this weekend, get film for the kids on first Sunday?
Yeah, I don't think it's any harder than it normally is. Is that an advantage? I wouldn't say it is or isn't. For us, we're going to worry about us and how we get ready. The things that we learn, certainly we'll use their game as an additional resource to prepare, no question about it. But they've been preparing for this moment too, and I think it's really it's important. I want our guys to focus on Oklahoma and kind of the man in the mirror, but it's always important that you respect the motivation and the mindset of your opponent. I think that's incredibly important. You know, we're going to get a Game 7 mentality from everybody we play. Everybody. There ain't nobody. When we play somebody, they hate Oklahoma. They're not like this mutual respect. They hate Oklahoma. And you're going to get whatever's on film, it's going to be another level when they play Oklahoma. That's got to be your mindset. You know, respect, what their motivation is too.
Brent, you mentioned the cheetah position with Harrington. How has that evolved? And is someone like Deshaun White, does he fit the type of build of what you might be looking for at a spot like that?
Yeah, Deshaun can play multiple positions. He could play all three positions and actually has. But same position we've had for a long time. And again, you're looking for guys that can cover, play in space, can play some man-to-man, can blitz. They can do a variety of things that sometimes a skill set is outside there where that's located. You know, it's a different skill set when you're playing inside behind the ball. And what I love about the group of guys that we have there is that I see guys that can play multiple positions, not just that position. It's one of the easier positions to learn, but it's hard to play because of the skill set that's required.
A lot of people are curious about your sideline demeanor as a head coach. Are you curious about your sideline demeanor as a head coach? Are you still going to have a get-back coach? Or
We've not discussed get-back, and I've seemed to be in control of my role that I've had for a long time. Never had a penalty, and my guys play at a high level, and so that's got to stand for something, right? So I got to, there's more that's on my plate. I've got to help manage a game and morale and motivate and special teams. There's a lot of different things. I've got coaches that are going to help in all those different areas, but ultimately it's my responsibility. So I have a few more tasks, and I'm a passionate, intense coach. That's just me. And, I know that my players are going to look to me to help lead, and so I get that. But I want my guys to play with intensity and emotion and passion, all controlled. And so whatever that looks like, I've literally not thought about it at all. And but I'm not the signal guy, so that I won't do that. But I'm looking for the right stuff from all of my players in every phase of the game. The guys that play with great effort, play tough, and play physical, to respond, to be passionate. Passion and intensity are great equalizers on the field, but it's got to be a controlled intensity. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's important. That I set that example too for them.
Have you taken maybe more time to listen in to the offense? Because I'm sure you never did that as a defensive coordinator, but just to kind of be the guy to say, hey, maybe we want to look at this or that.
Yeah, I've done that plenty. Sometimes those offensive guys probably think a little too much, but no, absolutely. And, certainly trust those guys. They do a great job. They know what they're doing, but at the same time, we all need, structure and accountability as well. So I want to empower my coaches, let them know what my expectations are, and I expect them to, again, hold guys accountable to those expectations. And then there are certain things, whether it's fundamentally or structurally, that our preference of hopefully all of us sharing those same expectations.
Can we expect a depth chart, and if and when we get one, will it have many either ors who will start, or is that some coaches do that a lot, some don't?
You'll get it on Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Just you, Dean.
Well, all of you. Everybody gets it on Monday.
I'll get it to them on Tuesday.
Brent, we're just curious about your cheetah position. How's that changed? How's that evolved from the old Sam spot that you used to coach?
No, it hasn't.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Just more throws nowadays than there used to be to be more aware?
No.
Because I think about the Texas Tech offenses and how you guys always dominated those guys for a stretch.
Yeah.
You never seemed to want to bother the Sam linebacker, had to come off.
Yeah, well, it depends on who, your personnel and whatnot. Roy Williams played that position for, you know, in our first few years here. And then we had guys like Clint Ingram, who was a freak at run 4.5, Keenan Clayton, Tony Jefferson, just to name a few guys. Probably there's another guy or two I'm not thinking about. But when people are near 21 and 22 and 21 or 12 personnel, maybe you had a bigger body guy like a Pasha Jackson or Brandon Moore to set the edge. But as they spread you out with 11 and 10 personnel, you got, you know, some different body guys. If you had a guy that could do it all, you know, that would be great too. And so that's what you'd like to recruit to. But those guys are, as we all know, those guys are harder to find. That can do it all. So when you can, then you play to your player's strengths. If he's not a great man guy, but he's a great zone guy, you can blitz, and then you play to those strengths, whatever those strengths are. If he's more of a cover guy, keep him out of the box and spin your free safety or your strong safety down in the box more. So you just try to really, one of our coaches, Ryan Carter, he's about 5'9", about 170 pounds. He was a cheetah for us at Clemson. He started 3 years and 2 national championship games and balled out. But he played like he's, you know, 6'1", 210. And but he's fast too. And so you wouldn't think that little guy could do it, but you know they can. So looking for football players, that position you want a really good football player, you know, that can do a lot.
Brent, what's impressed you most about Jeffrey Dawson this summer?
Jeffrey Dawson?
Yeah, but obviously something kind of
Defensive line from
Johnson.
Oh, Jeffrey Johnson. I thought you said Dawson.
Oh,
I'm sorry. What's impressed me the most? He's got a great attitude. He's humble, great worker, but he's a great teammate. You know, he's not stuck in whatever ways, you know. Obviously, he started, I believe, 44 games at Tulane, so he brought all this experience. So he could have come in here with an attitude where he doesn't have a lot to learn, and it couldn't be further from the truth. He's been incredibly humble, has bought into our culture, he's been a really good leader, and just tremendous work ethic. He's fun, he's engaging, really good teammate. You know, he makes everyone around him better.
Brent, the stuff that Dylan did in the offseason, retreats, camps, things like that, have you seen that continue to pay off in terms of rapport with guys during camp?
No doubt. I mean, he's a natural leader. Again, I've said this before, guys follow him. It's very easy. He's the first, you know, one to show up, the last one to leave. He's always doing extra. He's hard on himself, very demanding of himself. He's an over deliverer in everything. He goes the nth degree to please, and again, he elevates everybody's level of play. But he's a calmer demeanor type of guy, more like a Sam Bradford, I guess, if you will, than a Baker Mayfield. You know, just quiet and kind of an assassin in his own way. Really confident, got great presence on the field. But as much as anything else, he's very humble. He's thankful for his opportunity. He knows it's a big deal to be a quarterback at Oklahoma, and you know he wants to represent, you know, the brand the right way, and he does every day.
Sooner Scoop HD.